Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Monday at 11:30 a.m., December 21st, and it is a volatile Monday. What do they call it? Bloody Monday? Be more PG. Volatile Mondays around here. So we got our eye on the market, the eye on the markets, because there's many markets and they all contribute to the story. You have to understand a little bit of each and every market to really get a big picture. Now, we follow the smartest people in the room in this stream to understand different markets because each market, some folks specialize in. They enjoy more so than others. But we're here on this stream to digest all their brains and wrap it in a big Noah bow. That's what we're here to do. Liquidity Mondays, the sell-off, bounce, and the Bitcoin story, something like that, because it's all a story. We're storytellers. The better we understand things, the better and more the story makes sense, so to speak. And this morning we had a liquidity event. We're going to look into it and see what's going on. Today's episode, along with all episodes, is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social good. Not your keys, not your crypto. Stop depositing on centralized exchanges. Non-custodial or DeFi is the only way to go. Bring it over to the main screen. Craig's in the house. Always a pleasure, Craig. My man. Frank, yes. Lewis, always a pleasure. I want a Ren VM face tattoo, right? We'll look like Tyson. Ren Tyson. That's what's next. Make an asset. Um, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. Well, let's take a look at what obviously causes the vast majority of price action like today. There's the dollar wrecking ball as it ripped through, what was it, the 1 hour 200 EMA? That was a big rip to the upside, but look at this correction. So, I'm not a macro fiat specialist. That's more Raul's territory, and this is obviously relatively short term. His ideas are very, very long term, macro time frame in all regards. So, what causes a spike? So, obviously, something caused a massive spike, a massive dollar shortage, which caused excessive buying on these particular forex markets that contribute to the DXY. And this is strange, actually. So I looked at it this morning and I saw the break to the upside. Excuse me, through the 200 EMA. I didn't expect it to fall through the 1 hour 200 EMA so quickly. So what does that mean? I don't entirely know. I know that it was a dollar shortage. Someone needed a massive amount of dollars. I did notice this morning uh, that there was a big sell-off in silver. So there's all that. It's a liquidity event. Someone sold silver $4, and here's the dollar purchase, and obviously the dollar sold off. So there's net bearish momentum. So this is a bearish chart overall. This is a bullish aberration, and I guess that's all it is. In the end, it's an aberration because we're net bearish. So you see your nice little green rips to the upside of green guppies for a little bit, but it fell through. It fell back down. Um, you know, I'm not the smartest macro fiat guy as I said, but I fully understand the bull case for the dollar and how there's no way in heck that there's enough quantity of dollars to meet supply needs, meet demand needs, not enough supply to meet demand. But clearly, there's a net inflationary force here where the dollar's value is being eroded. So the bull case for the dollar has not emerged in the data. So as I said did I say that in the title? The story. Well, I said the story. So the charts tell us the story. The data tells us the story. You can't make up the story, boys and girls. These assets aren't going to do what you want them to do. These assets are going to do what they want to do based on the data that they print. So your story has to revolve around the data that you see. And the story here is bullishness. You guys see this. Check this out. Look at the 200 EMA and the hourly for Bitcoin. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Look at that, Craig. Look at that data. Woo! Look at that bounce off the 200 EMA on the hourly. You can't make this shit up, boys and girls. That is a wick, a capitulation wick if I've ever seen one. Wow. So that's just obvious. And gold had a fat bounce as well. Not as clean off the 200 EMA on the hourly, but check it out. So it ripped down way past the 200 EMA on the hourly. You don't see price action like this in gold. And check this out. If you go over to the, no, let's go over to 15 min on gold. Look at these wicks above the 15 min 200 EMA. That's incredible. I mean, that is a downward pressure. This thing is trying to go above the average, and it is just being beaten down. Now, bear in mind, obviously, this is a triangular formation here. You see this, so that is the not the tendency, but the story of a triangular formation is that it's beating against the resistance, and eventually it breaks as it gets so you can see it. It's going to go. You have higher lows, one, two, three higher lows, and it's basically the same resistance. So this should eventually break to the upside, and that's consistent with the macro narrative, the story of gold, as it fits into inflation, deflation, currency, so on and so forth. So this makes sense. And obviously, if you zoom out, when you have bullish chart patterns coming off net bullish momentum, the breaks tend to be to the upside. So obviously, an ascending triangle is bullish nonetheless. But that's stuff like this. This was actually unexpected. I didn't. This was obviously. I think today was an aberration of sorts because to me, when you look at Bitcoin, I know it's overextended and it's far departed from the 200 EMAs on various time frames. But you know, a symmetric triangle is break direction agnostic, but it tends to break in the direction of the prevailing trend. And the prevailing trend is overwhelmingly bullish. So I was a little surprised at a retrace, not surprised at the bounce. And it's not unexpected, but surprised. I was expecting this to break to the upside, given that it's just bullish break after bullish break after bullish break. So if you have some symmetrical compression and consolidation, why wouldn't it break to the upside? So I was a little surprised by this morning, and it was a large liquidity event to the downside. 23,595, 21.9. That's meaningful. But the capitulation and the bounce of the 200 EMA and the hourly, woo, ain't nothing like it. Look, there's nothing like this chart out there, right? That's crazy. That's crazy to look at. What am I missing in the stream? Crypto Monk's in the house. Rick's in the house. Barry's in the house. Yes. Mac Dad too. Always a pleasure. Manucci Bucci, give us some free Bitcoin. Good point. Good old Manucci Bucci. Oh, they're sending out $600 checks. Now, don't get me wrong. People need it, and it's pretty disturbing. I wrote on Twitter that if anyone knows how to aggregate or acquire or, track down ways to make payments to people that are on the threshold of getting evicted, people want to help. I myself will throw in money. I mean, some folks are like back due like a couple of $1,000, like 5 grand. Come on, we could collect 5 grand pretty quickly. I'd throw up $1,000 real quick for someone if we could avoid them getting evicted come January. That's just the obvious right thing to do. Um, oop, closing a window. Yeah, but Manucci Bucci is the $600 and $900 billion worth of print. And so one of the tweets this morning was they're sending out stimulus checks, paper checks, smoke signals, telegraphs. What the fuck is the matter with these people? I mean, the technology and just everything about the government is so antiquated, deprecated. It's just pathetic. It really is. Anyway, Lewis says, can you address the supply-demand dynamic for Bitcoin as we continue to have the supply while demand continues to escalate? Well, bear in mind the halving is a multi-year cyclical process, so we already have. We had a massive supply disruption, and this is what Plan B talks about, and we're being faced with a massive demand surge. I mean, PayPal's buying all minted or mined Bitcoin, and that's just PayPal. Yet alone the demand from every other source. So there's a supply and demand imbalance. We're having a liquidity event in the bullish direction. That's what it is. What is the downside risk to Bitcoin short term, less than 12 months? The downside risk is a liquidity event in the macro system, the macro financial system. If the dollar just rips to the upside, it's going to crush everything. It's the dollar wrecking ball. Can you imagine the dollar ripping to like 100 real quick? You know, you know what that would do to the world? Oh my goodness. And what's fascinating is how that would play into like interest rates and bank stability. And that's beyond me. That's like that's Raul and Stevens, and even like Brent Johnson's and Lynn, they'd understand stuff like that. And I'd love to hear George Gammon's commentary on it because that boy puts all the puzzle pieces together in the way that we all can understand with three simple, quick steps. Just saying. So that would be a wrecking ball. And we know that bullish rips to the upside for the dollar are overwhelmingly bearish for basically everything else. Um, Here, I want to look something up if I could get to it. Oh, I don't have it. Business Insider net um, uh, forex derivatives. Let's see if we could find that. Business is that? No. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Business Insider derivatives chart. Where's that chart? I used to have that chart. I don't have it. I'd love to find that real quick, but I don't have it. It used to be here in my search history. So the derivatives, I'd love to know um, short positions against the dollar. How many trillions of dollars were short against the dollar? So if there's a liquidation of those short positions, that's what throws pricing like this quickly above a moving average, which is a massive change of price action. You don't just blast past 200 EMAs. You have to have some sort. I mean, look, if you notice, there was resistance. Even on the hourly, it held as resistance, and then bam. So, and then this is cool because it held as resistance, it ripped through, and there was a ferocious downside price action that said, there's way too much demand. And then this pullback is just fascinating. Um, so this chart tells us someone needed dollars, and then the second that price started going up, someone saw a selling opportunity. So someone had excess dollars, or at least net persons has excess dollars, and they liquidated them for profit because they expected to keep going down, so something else is appreciating more. Something else is outperforming, something else is underperforming, and that's the way it works. People are moving value around from things that are underperforming to things that are outperforming. Craig's observation, very obvious DXY descending channel over the last 4 decades when you zoom out. Zooming! Oh, yeah, decades. Okay, sorry. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn, bro. Damn. How do you like that? I mean, there's also a little sim action, sim triangle action. Check this out. I mean, oh, that obviously broke to the downside. Wow. Who knows? He doesn't. It's a manipulated asset. You can print as much as you want. You can manufacture supply and demand. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate these stupid dollars. You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. Obviously, there's trend formations, but what are you gonna do? It's kind of, as I said, the chart tells the story. But when you're dealing with an asset where you can inflate supply and when there's defaults in credit, when loans are defaulted on, that destroys value. So when it literally the dollar, you can destroy and create value all over the place. How do you chart that shit? Lewis says, no, I got Lewis already. Pellet says, what's up, man? What's up? Can you explain the Graph Oracle and its customizable API so meaningful to the crypto space? Probably mean the Graph, the Oracle problem. Smart contracts don't have access to real world data, so we need a bridge. So smart contracts can either get access to real world data or interact with real world systems. So the Oracle software facilitates such functionality. Now, there's a variety of oracles in the space. And it's all very early. Even Chainlink is early. We don't know how all this is going to emerge, but what we know is oracles are extremely powerful. And even BlockNet has oracle type functionality. Don't they have one in here? Home, probably markets. I had it right there. I had it right there, and I clicked it. Oracles. Oracles? Crypto exchanges, stablecoins, farms. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. DeFi? No. Markets, home. Anyway, this is filter. All hashing platforms? No. Categories. LM and Oracle. All right, so here's your Oracle assets. So it's not a large list, small list, and they're providing various implementations, various manifestations of Oracle solutions. Now, bear in mind, guys, look at this pricing data. There's you guys are maybe looking into um, altcoins, but the market's risk off. It has been risk off since, in my opinion, September. And September, October, November, December, we're almost 4 months of risk off. I wouldn't touch alts. I liquidated the vast majority of alts at the beginning of September, and I've inched into positions. You guys know, little Rook, W Crest, that's pretty cool. Cresco FinCent, that's pretty cool. I mentioned that on Twitter the other day. Um, Heirloom, what's up? What's up? Market rebound, absolutely. Charlie, always a pleasure. How do you feel about Block? Yeah, A Block. So I provide liquidity for A Block, and I expect just them to continue because their super blocks and their emissions from their proof of stake blockchain is self-sustaining, and it incentivizes development of the platform for years at this point. Wow, up to 10,000 liquidity. That's pretty cool. That's good to see. Some nice transactions are, well, not that many transactions, but point is, it's nice, and this is definitely part of the solution or part of the path forward. Man, I just love Block. Block's a good deal, and the fact that you can buy Block now as an ERC20 on Uniswap, as more liquidity is added and more attention is paid towards the functionality of what Block offers. This is the start, and it's heading in the right direction. It doesn't have the fever pitch or the irrational exuberance of many other assets that people, or the high subscriber count players on Twitter talk about. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything with regard to technology. And we know what the technology is that Block is building, has built, has iterated on, has matured to the point of, frankly, awesomeness with the Light multi-wallet. Man, X-Lite is incredible, and that's non-trivial. It has some serious puzzle pieces for the DEX solution for the UTXO space. That's crazy. An ERC20 of our native block token ported to Ethereum. A block enhances interoperability between the networks, of course. And AnySwap is interesting to keep an eye on. This is so I took block because I have block. I've had block for years, and I get block every day because I proof of stake it. And I took block and I went over here and I went to bridge and I was on the Ethereum mainnet and I did this and bing bada boom. No, I deposited block and I got a block 500. And what you do is you send it to this address and in 30 minutes you get a block in your Ethereum address, which is connected up here. Bing bada boom. That's how you do it. I'm just saying. How do you feel about using Ledger with the recent news? Using Ledger has nothing to do with the recent news. The only complexity is, I do get worried about identity, and I'm not worried about identity theft. I've locked everything down to the best of my abilities. And you're not running a credit report on me, boys. If you don't have, was it Equifax, TransUnion, and what's the other one? But the point is, your credit report should be locked. Period. Ever since the Equifax hack, you should have been locked. So you're gonna that'll handle that security, and you better have YubiKeys at this point. Everyone who listens to me better have a YubiKey, and if you don't, that's your next immediate purchase. You go on yubico.com and you buy a YubiKey, Uh, YubiKeys. Whether it's an NFC version or a USB 2.0 or 3.0, it doesn't matter. Look at all these fancy YubiKeys. You jam it in your USB drive, and then you go over to Google Advanced Security. And you go over here and you turn your Google account into, you go to the advanced protection and you take the YubiKey. And now you can't log into your Google account without a YubiKey. So lock down your shit, boys and girls. And now you have it on the stream, the URLs. You go here, landing.google.com/advanced protection, and you go to ubico, yubico.com/products. If you have any money in the crypto space, and if you have any interest, folks, in protecting yourself, I mean, if you don't buy this, you don't care if someone hacks your Google account. That's the bottom line. You need to have this. You need to lock your Google account. Um, I don't know how else to say it. And frankly, if it's too expensive, um, skip a meal. It's that important. It's that important. This is your life. That I guarantee you, there's bank account information and other sensitive information in your emails. You need to lock down your account, and that's worth not eating dinner one night. Uh, period. Seriously. So I think they're cheap, man. They're like 25 bucks. No, 45. All right, fine. They're not too cheap. But look, the NFCs are pretty cool because those you can tap to the back of your phone and you're able to secure your Android device with the NFC Ubico chips. It's pretty cool. Oh, wait, look here. Security key NFC by Ubico. Does this have NFC? Prosumers. So this is 2450. Bam. Security. Wait. Oh, no. I'm sorry. This is a security key. You need a UB key, which has U2F functionality, not just a security key. Budget friendly. No, I'm sorry. U2F. So this cheap one, 2450. Yeah, so you can skip dinner, grab this cheap 2450 UB key, and it has U2F, which is what you want. You primarily want U2F, folks. That this is going to change everything with regard to your security. You need this. And I do not like that my name, address, and email address were part of that dump. I don't like that, but what am I going to do about it? So that's it. Pellets, can you check the graph in a new Oracle number 46 about 10 days on CoinGecko? Huh? No, I don't care about new stuff, my man. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't care. If it's new, I don't care. You know when I care? I care if it's not new. And I care if there's attention. I don't want anything that's new. I don't want something that's untested. I want something that's failed and built itself back up, number four, or has proven itself. And I don't want to buy something at the bottom. I want to buy something when it's a mid cap. 46, you say? So 46 is compound right now. I have no idea, my friend. Um, they're probably here. You say why, but I cannot understand why they're better than other oracles. They're probably because they're not. Llama or alpaca? Llamas. That's all I gotta say, my man. I know what you're talking about. Charlie says, "Bada bing, bada boom." That's the name of the game. Woo! Heirloom, Experian. That's right, Experian. That's the other one. Lock those bad boys down. You should be each one of those, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, you could get on your Android or iOS phone. You get the app. You set up your account. You lock the credit report. Lock it down. Crypto Chicks in the house. Sorry I'm late. It's all good. We are here for another 6 minutes, but yeah, we're here. We're always here. And there's always tomorrow. Craig says the graph is an indexer, so not a traditional oracle. Thank you for answering, because I have no idea what it was. My man. Crypto Chick Noah, is that a double bottom on Ren? So it depends. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at relative to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's outperforming everything lately. So obviously everything's getting crushed. But let's not look at it on the weekly. Oh, zooming. Yeah, the Bitcoin chart is horrible. You can't even look at it. It's just crushed. Ren, Tether, Binance. There's the liquidity. Oh, it's within trend. Let's go to the daily so we see this symmetrical triangle. That's all that matters. Is it above that 200 EMA on the daily? Okay. So it bounced off the daily 200 EMA. So at least in dollar denomination, it's holding up. And that's, you can't, from a confluence perspective, you can't really make anything. How do you differentiate between alts when Bitcoin is outperforming everything? So don't look at it denominated in Bitcoin. So, which poses an interesting question. If your value and your value storage is really denominated in Bitcoin, and that's how your mindset has become, and the value of your altcoins are deteriorating relative to their Bitcoin value, yeah, sure, you're losing Bitcoin value. But that doesn't mean that you still need something to look at to meaningfully evaluate the performance of one asset versus another. So if you're all altcoins are deteriorating in their Bitcoin value, don't look at them in Bitcoin. Look at them in another denomination, and that will give you the data points you need to have a relative perspective on one altcoin asset versus another. So as of right now, in USDT denomination, REN is on trend, bounced off the 200 EMA on the daily, and that's where it is. This is a large 200 EMA. This is going to be many, many days until we see a conclusion. Likely, we have 77 more days until we start getting towards real levels of symmetrical compression. But Peter says, does YubiKey work for multiple accounts? Of course, you could use a YubiKey on hundreds and thousands of accounts. YubiKeys have been around for countless years, and Google has supported them for years. And bear in mind, so if you've ever gotten SIM hijacked, I've been SIM hijacked before, it's no fun. Swap over to Google Fi, where your Google account is your phone account. And if you're YubiKey protected, you cannot log in to a Google account without a YubiKey unless, I mean, Google touts advanced security protection as what politicians should use. And from a cloud service provider and what Google is, I mean, unless like the Google system is infiltrated from the inside or there's some sort of systemic data breach, man, the concept of U2F is impenetrable from a mathematical and cryptographic standpoint. So, period. This is the best you're going to get. It's the it's the best you're going to get while also being functional and useful and not having your data stored in a vault 10 feet underground where you have to spend a week digging it up to get access to it. So it's secure as you're going to get while also being functional. Stops in the house, always a pleasure. Pellet says, okay, I know market is risk off, but I was just trying to bring interesting projects. I thought $700 million market cap is mid cap. Yeah, what's a $700 million market cap? Damn right, that's a mid cap. Well, one of the most interesting assets that I am itchy to get my hands on is a YFI. I would love to get one of these bad boys. But this thing bounced. Damn it. It was down at 24 and change. It was down at 1.08 Bitcoin. If this thing goes to 1 Bitcoin, I'm going to have to get one of them bad boys. Man. I mean, this is just like the future of DeFi automation. This is going to be like the central nexus. This is going to, from a gravity perspective, this is going to suck in everything what Andre and Banteg created. It reminds me of like the boys with 1inch Exchange, where 1inch was done at a hackathon, but it is basically a funded company with a banking license in the UK. Well, no, I'm sorry, that's Aave, but it's basically funded, and they've taken their due diligence launching their DAO asset, and they're doing it right. Their user interface for 1inch V2 is impressive to say the least. You guys see the outliers in this space, the ones that are literally setting the standard. It's Urine, it's Aave, it's Curve, it's 1inch. Bancor stepping up. They raised like $150 million back in 2017, and these just Man, these are just Lego blocks, and these components are absolutely incredible. What was it, Cresco FinCEN? Cresco Fin, yeah. This is something to keep your eye on, boys and girls. These boys are out in Switzerland. Talk about yield. Oh. I don't want to get too into it. But what's emerging is what's called a yield curve, everyone. So you could have very low interest rates. These boys offer 3% insured on like dollars and probably other assets to some degree. I think it's initial stages to my understanding. So it might just be like family offices, like the billionaire families. But at some point, you're going to be able to get 3% interest secured and insured. Basically, FDIC, the closest you're going to get to FDIC insured. And then as you go out the yield curve, you get 5% with a little bit of increased risk. And clearly to the point where you could go out to curve and go to the compound pool and get 30% with risk. There's risk. Um, Damn, the APY is 6.24 spot. That's crazy. So you can get 30% on your yield, but you're dealing with the risk associated with the WBTC. Um, well, I'm dealing with risk with the WBTC smart contract over and MakerDAO. I'm dealing with the MakerDAO contract risk, WBTC contract risk, and Curve contract risk. So there's risk, and that's the risk associated with this particular yield. So you're able to price that risk relative to how much yield you could get for less risky products. It's just fascinating, and that's what Raul talks about as the yield curve is emerging. It's really like money markets and absolutely incredible to see. Um, Heirloom says staking Wi-Fi. Ooh, oh yeah. Craig says, pellets, the determination I came to myself for the graph is that I would only buy it to delegate it to an index for rewards. I feel like it's a long-term speculation. Yes, everything's a long-term speculation. The graph. All right, fine. Let's take a look real quick. 1201. What is this? The graph. Oh, this is what everyone's talking about. This GRT. You know why you don't look at it right now? Because everyone's talking about it. Don't look at things that everyone's talking about. It's the last time you look at things. Uh, let's take a look real quick. All right. I mean, this is just pretty. That's about it. I'd have to look into the data. Obviously, their asset is live and probably has liquidity, and that's why everyone's talking about it. I wait for this to say 30 days. Wait for it to go 6 months, and then get a sense of where it fits in with the rest of the Oracle assets. I wouldn't want to get in too early. Um, oh, good point. Oh my God, Craig, damn. What? What? 700. It's $700 million, and this is listed on CoinGecko in 24 hours. I'm not. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Picky to buy, quick to sell. Picky, picky, picky. That's the truth. Um, that's the truth. Well, yeah. Craig says sometimes, but yeah, very true. So, you can't always follow the rules. Sometimes you take a gamble. Probably the only notable gamble I've taken lately is WCRES, WCRES, which is the asset from Cresco FinCEN. So do I have it here? I didn't buy liquidity, but I'm watching it. So I bought a little bit, and it's obviously depreciating on Uniswap, is what it is. But this is the asset from these boys. And if you haven't seen, was it Robert Sherratt talk on Real Vision about Cresco Fin? It's worthwhile to hear him. His background and experience in the banking sector, the real banking sector, and what he's built that interfaces with the real banking sector and how it's using the crypto space. It's downright fascinating. Real Vision Cres Cresco Fen. Is that a banking disruptions? Ensure crypto yield here. It's a great video, guys. If you have the subscription, I think this is something you want to watch. So this company is out in Switzerland, and Cresco FinCEN is an asset that's available in Uniswap, which is a wrapped version of whatever blockchain they're using. Obviously, it's their own implementation. It's not necessarily decentralized, but it's smart contract based, and they've built an entire business around it. Have I spoken about Binance? What's up with Binance? Interesting. No idea. No idea what's going on with Binance. Why are you using Binance? There's absolutely anyone who watches this channel, there is no reason to use Binance. There is no asset that you need Binance to access. I can't think of a single asset. You don't need Binance anymore. It's done. Yeah, Cresco Fin has partnered with Aave. Pellets. Cresco Fin is a big deal. That's what I'm talking about. So now this is where I get interested. I mean, just all you gotta do is hear Robert talk in this video, and then put two and two together with Aave and banking and mortgages and the history and experience that Robert has. What the words that came out of his mouth in this video are like, oh, that's the way it's gonna go in about 5 years. All right, that's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. 12:06 p.m. on Monday, December 21st. What's tomorrow gonna have in store for it? Are we gonna have a mega bounce? Are we gonna get out of this big old purple box of glory here on Bitcoin, a break to the upside or a break to the downside? Are we gonna have another liquidity event? Gold looks really good. Is it gonna break the ascending triangle to the upside? Who knows? But we'll be here to look at the data and understand it to the best of our abilities and make good financial decisions together. Smack those thumbs up buttons, tell everyone to subscribe, and as always, thank you for my daily psychology session. It's a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.